All right, guys, welcome back to another video. I'm Andrew. This is Aggie here at Next to Jiu-Jitsu in Folsom. And today I'm going to talk about the difference between a kind of older school conventional triangle and more of this newer age thought on the triangle that I've been doing for a few years now. The old school conventional triangle has a few parts that you need to get done so that you can actually have a successful strangle that will put somebody to sleep. But I find that there's several steps throughout that process that people can take advantage of and maybe beat you in those little scenarios. Whereas the more newer age style, it kind of checks all those boxes and mitigates all those things that people can do. So I'm going to walk you through the conventional style. We'll look at one entry into the triangle. It's my favorite entry, especially no-gi, where I want to keep a decent connection. We'll look at that one entry. I'll go over that briefly, and then we'll just play from the trap triangle throughout the rest of the video. And I'm going to talk about the conventional triangle, everything you need to get done, and how they can beat those things, and then how the newer age, newer style version really mitigates all that. Okay, so let's start from the closed guard. Obviously, the first thing I need to do is bring her shoulder line closer to me, right? If I want to triangle this person, my hips need to be all the way up here, right? What I like to do is play prayer hands or shark fin hands and get their hands to the mat. I'll do a full wax on, wax off, right? If I wanted to do arm bars, I would just bring her hands above my shoulders. If I want to play triangles, I bring the hands below my armpits, right? I like to keep my hips off the mat so I can jackknife her forward when I hit my knee pull. So my hips are off the mat. I'm not resting here. I'm not being lazy. Hands come through, prayer hands. I wax on, wax off, knee pull. When I hit this knee pull, now what I want to do, I can't go straight into my overhook. If I try to go straight into my overhook, this gives her the ability to pummel out of the position. So the first step I like to take is go into Irish collars here. So now I put all her weight on her hands, and she can't just peel out of the position, and she can't put her hands back on my body so easily, right? And now I'll hip escape facing my hands here in this type of position, okay? Now it's rather easy for me to hold on to her head here and work in a good overhook. Once I get this overhook and I have her head in position, I'll start climbing my legs higher into more of a clamp guard, and I start to go into a supinated wrist grip here. Make sure your palm up, thumb in the direction of their thumb. If I go here, she can pummel her hand to the inside to break this grip, right? So roll your hand to the inside, right? She can roll her hand to the inside and break that grip, and now she has inside hand position. Here, she tries that. She can't. The only direction she can go to break this grip is away. So now I want to bring my top leg over the shoulder, putting weight now on this hand. So now I'm bearing down on her with this leg. Take this hand off the mat. She just falls, right? So people are always going to kind of keep that hand there, which allows me to bring this leg out and find my trap triangle. Okay? Once we're in the trap triangle, I can square up underneath them and start getting to work. Now, conventional triangles, what you want is you want to get this arm across your body. Well, that can be hard. What if she keeps it here? What if she's strong here? What if she hugs my leg? Right? Now it's going to be really hard to get the arm across the body. Okay? That's obvious. But let's say we can. Okay, so that's one problem. Right? Let's say we can. Hips up, expose the elbow, bring it through. Now, if I'm her in this scenario, I'm going to bring my elbow all the way to the mat here. And now she kind of starts to extend her head, and she can start really breaking this. When I do these motions, I bring my elbow all the way to the mat and turtleneck my head way out, I can pop people's legs apart, right? Like they can't even keep their feet crossed when I do it right, okay? So that's another issue you'll run into when you're playing conventional triangles. It's rather easy to stop, okay? I cross her arm through, she tries to put her elbow to the mat, I can kickstand, okay? That's easy, right? But it's still an issue that we run into. Another issue we'll run into in this scenario is stacking. She'll bring her forehead to my forehead and stack me here. This is really a problem, right? I'm not going to be able to lock my triangle in these scenarios. So it's rather difficult to deal with the stack. I'll have to push my knees, push her head, try to get back to a position where I can lock the triangle. When it comes to conventional triangles, and this is going to help a lot of you out there, because I don't discount the conventional triangle. It's very good. Right? But for several reasons, I like the other one a little more, but I still do the conventional triangle very regularly. One thing that'll help a lot of you is the relationship between your choking leg and your chest. If that relationship is a V, a V. I'm not going to be able to lock my legs very well. Yeah? I need that relationship to be a right angle, a capital L. So I want to push everything away. Shoulder walk, capital L. It cannot be a V. Capital L for loser.
Loser.
Yep. I can't have it be a V, guys. Okay? So once I have this, everything's in good position. I need to reach to grab my shin. You can hold the head here. I find the shin is better. In the conventional triangle, I need my knee to be above her ear. If my knee's below her ear, there'll be a big gap. I need my knee to be above her ear. Shin will be parallel to the ceiling and floor. Okay? I'm grabbing my shin, putting my foot on the hip, and creating as much of a perpendicular angle as possible. The only real reason for this angle is so I can get my heel over her shoulder, this shoulder. Okay? So I bring my heel over the shoulder, and now I'm going to touch my knee to the top of her shoulder to take it out of the strangle. Now I can lock my triangle. We can get good finishes here. Very, very powerful, right? So very strong choke. Really good option. Lots of things can kind of go wrong. And that doesn't mean that in the newer age version that things can't go wrong. Certainly can. But you'll see how it mitigates a lot of those issues, okay? So now let's look at the newer style. Let's say we're already in the trap triangle. Okay, I got here, boom, right? Her hand's on the wrong side of my body for the triangle, yeah? Wrong side. Well, not really, not for this one, okay? And the great thing about this motion is you don't need super long legs to lock it with their arm on the wrong side. All I'm gonna do here is hold the head, because I know they're probably trying to posture, yeah? When I hold the head, my other arm is gonna scoop the leg. If they're posturing, what that tells me is their knees are probably close to me. So try to pick me up onto your lap. Here, she can only do that if her knees are close to me. If her back is like parallel with the floor and her knees are really far, she's never going to be able to do that, right? So when I'm here and I grab the head and I feel that posture, I know her knees are right here. So I'm going to unlock my legs because I'm holding the head. I can keep her here. I'm going to scoop her leg. Scoop means wrap my arm underneath the leg. Okay? I don't say underhook for the legs. I say scoop for the legs, underhook for the arms. That was made popular by Danaher. Works very well. No ambiguity. I scoop the leg and I pull my head towards her knee. What my legs are going to do is both of my feet are going to point in the same direction here. So the soles of my feet are both pointed off to her right, kind of straight ahead of me, right? I don't want this. What that's going to help me with is covering her shoulder with this knee. Yeah? The difference here now, what you'll see here is that my shin is more or less perpendicular to the ceiling and floor, right? And my knee is going to tuck underneath her shoulder below her ear. So there's some major differences between the conventional and newer age triangles, okay? So I'm in this position. Now when I get off to this angle, if she tries to stack me, she just sweeps herself. If she tries to posture, I have her head so far in front of her hips, there's no strength here. If she tries to bring her elbow to the mat the way she did for the conventional triangle to beat me, it sweeps her. It doesn't help her, right? Most of the time when they're kind of posturing, my hips will be up off the mat when I finish this triangle, but it doesn't really matter as long as my knee is on the inside, soles of my feet point in the same direction, and this knee is beating her shoulder. It can't be back here. It has to be in front of the shoulder. And now all I have to do is lift my leg and chop down. Easy, easy finish. Another thing that's great about this is inherently in the motion, there's an arm bar, right? Okay, guys, so there you have it, right? Those are the kind of two triangle options from the front that I like to play, right? Conventional option, I have to cross the arm over the body. I have to keep my knee above the ear. My shin is parallel to the floor and ceiling. I grab my shin to pull my foot over the shoulder, create my angle, then I can lock and finish. In the newer age version, their arm is on what they consider the safe side. People don't really think, especially old school folks, don't think you can hit a very good triangle when the arm is on the wrong side of the body. If I hold the head, scoop the leg, and create that perpendicular angle, my shin is now more or less perpendicular to the ceiling and floor. My knee is going to be tucked inside the shoulder, right, kind of below the pec, below the ear, right? So lots of differences here. And the arm is going to be on the wrong side, but really what that does is make them feel safe, which they aren't, and it puts me in an inherent armbar position if the triangle isn't really working itself out, right? The soles of my feet point in the same direction as I create that angle so my knee can beat the shoulder. That's the one thing that's very similar, is that our knee needs to beat that shoulder. If you take the shoulder out of the lock, you'll be able to triangle really big, strong people. It's when their shoulder's in there that you're like, I can't triangle these guys. That's why. Take the shoulder out of the lock. You can fit your legs around almost anybody's neck and arm in the world. There's very few people with big enough necks and arms in the world that you can't fit your legs around, right? Unless the shoulder's involved, okay? So those are some really good options. That's how I like to play my triangles. I still do both. I don't get rid of the conventional style. There's just a lot of pitfalls in there that people can take advantage of. So as long as you're dotting your I's, crossing your T's, you should be fine. But the newer age version really takes advantage of all the defensive processes that people usually get into. Posture, okay, easily beaten. Stacking, easily beaten. You can go to the arm bar if it's not all working, and you can get those successful triangle locks, right? So try it out. Let me know how it goes. Any questions, concerns, or things you want to see in the future, throw it down in the comments. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Again, I'm Andrew. This is Aggie. We're here at Nexus Jiu-Jitsu in Folsom, and we'll see you in the next one.